Scotty Plays here, bringing you another Yugioh Master Duel video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a meta report for this past week's tournaments. So it's going to be November 21st through November 27th. And sadly, we only had 2 tournaments this week. That's a big difference from last week, which we had like 5 or 6. But honestly, the game's in a really boring place. And I want to make a video about this, but I'm going to talk about it here for a second. There's not really been any new content in the game in a while. We have had some new packs, but they've done so little to the metagame. And, 2 weeks after a new pack comes out, we're already bored of it, right? Because there's just not very much content. It's very similar to what's been the past months. And, yeah. But at the time of recording this last night, there was a big update announced that introduced a new selection pack, a new secret pack, a new structure deck. So there is some good stuff on the horizon, but I'm going to say, I think the lack of tournaments and the lack of, not the lack of diversity, because there's a lot of diversity, but the lack of, consistent competitive tournaments is a tribute to the fact that the game's in a really stale place right now. But anyways, I don't want to rant on that too much. I think that's another video for another day. But without further ado, let's jump right on in for the first tournament. It is the China Master Duel TIBA, weekly number 29. This had 83 players. It was 6 rounds best of 1 Swiss into best of 3 top 16. 1 deck, 15 card side deck. For the breakdown, we had 3 Sky Strikers, 2 Adamantispators, 2 Pendulum Magicians, 1 Invoked Despia Shaddoll, 1 Ultrageist, 1 Adventure Zodiac Tri-Brigade. I don't know why they don't have Adventure on there, but it is. 1 Live Twin, 1 Subterror, 1 Branded, it's probably Branded Despia, but I'm not sure. 1 Scareclaw, 1 Phantom Burning Abyss, and 1 Sword Sultini. The winner of this week's tournament was a Adventure Tri-Zoo. And it's a really nice list. I like it a lot. There was a few things that I was kind of curious about. I don't know why they're only playing 1 called by. The second one is in the side deck. They're also not playing a cross out, which I found a little bit weird. It does sort of make sense because it's best of 1 Swiss and then best of 3 top 16. So cross out's not amazing, but it's still very good, right? I'm also surprised they're only playing 1 Nib, 1 Baylor, and then 2 Crows. I feel like in a list like this, you'd probably be playing 1 Crow because it's searchable, and then either the second Baylor or the second Nib. But I always complain about one of hand traps. Nib is really the only one that I don't have a huge gripe with, because Nib normally needs to be paired with something else to be really good, and drawing into Nib off of Maxi is insane. So personally, I would say drop 1 Crow for 1 more Baylor. But, it's this guy's list. He did great with it. I did not. I did not play in this tournament. But the extra deck's not too crazy. They cut the Doom Eagle for 1 Lightheart. That's the only change. I'm surprised they're not playing the Tri-Heart. But I really don't know what you'd cut for it, to be honest with you. I haven't really theorized this deck since the new update. For the side deck, they're playing 1 Crow, 1 Baylor. Just some more hand chips here. Another Nib, which I do like. The Drolls, Lightning Storm's called by. I don't know why it's in the side deck, but for going first, maybe. 3 evenly matched and 2 anti-spell fragrance, because this is absolutely insane in this deck if you're able to open it. Second place, we had a Subterror here. They're not playing any of the big Subterrors, which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know this deck very well, but I did think it was kind of weird they're not playing any more Subterrors. They're playing a lot more hand traps. And then I thought 2 Extravagance was a little strange. Why not the third? And I also thought the 1 Strike was weird in the Crackdown. These didn't make sense to me, but, to each their own, I suppose. The extra deck doesn't really make too much of a difference. It just gets banished, really, with the draw cards. And then in the side deck, they're playing a lot of these 1-ups again. They're playing D-Barrier, Lightning Storm, Raigeki, another Nib, add a second Nib in there. I don't hate that. 1 Heavenly Dragon Prison. I'm wondering what you're siding these 1-ups in for, right? 1 Unending Nightmare, 1 more TC Boo, 1 Strike. It's just very strange to me, and I don't really get the logic here, but, I'd like to be able to know. The top 4 Striker, I did think this deck was a little weird too. There's a few things. I do like the fact they're playing 37 cards with the upstarts. They're playing 3 Desires, 1 Avarice, so very consistent. I do like that. But I don't understand why they're not playing Called By or Cross Out in the main board. Called Bys are on the side. I also don't really understand the logic of one Ghost Spell and one Ghost Ogre and one Nib, and then 2 Imperms. This seems like a lot. This seems like the kind of situation where you drop these 2, play a second Nib, and a third Imperm, and just be good to go. Because these have much less applications than either Nib or Imperm, especially Imperm in the current format. But again, I don't know the full logic. I also don't understand Almirage necessarily into the Hida. I'm sure there's a reason behind it, but I don't really get it. I don't really see the synergy here with Almirage. But yeah, what is what it is, right? For the side deck, they're playing just this is actually not too crazy. Just Crows, Drolls, a single Lightning Storm, a single Raigeki. That's a little weird to me, but don't hate it. A few Cosmics, the double called by, which I guess if it's not in the main, it should be in the side. It's like one of the best cards in the game. And the D-Berries, because this hits a lot of matchups. We got a top 4 branded Shaddoll. As always, I just don't understand ratios, right? I don't understand 2 Maxi in a 60-card deck. I also don't understand Nib in a 60-card deck as a one-of. In a 40-card deck, it makes more sense, right? Because you're going to see it a lot more frequently, and also you can draw it off Maxi a lot more consistently. But you're only playing 2 Maxi, so why is the Nib in here, right? You're playing 1 Ghost Ogre. I don't hate Ghost Ogre in this deck because you need the lights, but I do dislike it over the 3rd Maxi. Maxi is a really good card in this current metagame because there's not really many back row decks. I know Subterror got 2nd, but there's not a lot of back row decks. Most decks really struggle against Maxi right now, so I don't really understand the logic to only play 2. I also don't understand Hound over some of the other Shaddolls, some of their choices. Also, I was kind of shocked by the Magistus stuff over the Invoked package. I personally like the Invoked package more than this, but I know some people do enjoy this package. But yeah, other than that, nothing else stood out to me too much. I'm sure there's some other things that I could talk about, but nothing too insane here. The extra deck also, honestly, the extra deck looks pretty good. 3 Construct might be a lot, but nothing too crazy. In the extra deck, with the side deck, we got Drolls, Collectors, Banshee, Zombie World, more Nibs. I like that. Super Policies should probably be in the main deck, but I don't, if they're not in the main deck, I guess in the side deck's fine. Then the Evenlies. Okay. I don't love board breakers in 60-card decks because usually you don't want to draw 1 board breaker plus 1 hand trap. You want to draw 2 board breakers or 2 hand traps, right? But, it works. This deck's got a lot of board breakers in general because, Branded Fusion, Shaddoll Fusion, Droplet, Super Poly, these are all board breakers. So I guess I don't hate it, but you're also putting in a lot of hand traps too. So I think it kind of conflicts just a little bit. Anyways, moving on to the other tournament this week. It was the Decade Meta Weekly number 41. It had 86 participants, single elim as always. Best of 1, or not best of 1, best of 3 with 1 deck as always. Top 16 breakdown was 2 Branded Despia, 2 Phantom Knights, 2 Spyrals, 1 Despia Shaddoll, 1 Dragon Link, 1 Dragunity, 1 Drytron, 1 Heroes, 1 Marincess. This is Pendulum Magicians, I don't know why it says Odd Eyes. 1 Scareclaw, 1 Subterror, 1 Tri-Brigade Scareclaw. Triclaw, as I call it. Then the first place deck profile, surprise, surprise, was a pure Scareclaw. I was looking at it earlier. I don't understand the logic behind Retaliating Sea. There might be a way to search this in this deck that I'm just don't know. But I don't think so. So if that's the case, I don't understand why this is in the deck. I don't understand why there's 2 Maxis. Literally, look at this breakdown. There's 1 deck on this list, Subterror, that Maxi's not good against. So I don't understand the logic of 2 Maxis. I also don't really understand why Retaliating Seas is in the deck. It's a good card, don't get me wrong, but it shines in a deck like B-Trooper, which can search it and abuse it. But anyways, it is what it is. Yeah, they're playing the Crows, Maxis, Ashes, Retaliating Sea, 1 Nib, few Imperms. No cross out in the main deck. I didn't think that was a little weird. 1 Lightning Storm, I thought that was a little weird. But overall, well played to this guy. I'm very happy that Scareclaw is doing good, but some of the choices just kind of shocked me. Maybe I'm missing something though. Could be. I do like Levy a lot. This can summon back out the Enchantress. Fortune Tune into Downward into Zeus is kind of nice. Yeah. All right. Moving on to second place, we have the Triclaw strategy. This list is very clean. I like it a lot. Playing 1 Crow, it's searchable in this. We're playing 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossoms, 2 Gammas, no Nibs, no Imperms. I don't love that. I do like the idea of playing at least 1 Nib, but it worked out. They're playing 3 Droplets as well, so they're choosing for the Droplets over more hand traps. In this current meta, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do understand it. Other than that, nothing too insane here. I don't know the exact combo with Zephyros, but I do see the synergy with it, so I'm sure it's really cool. Yeah. No Baron because they're not playing the Visas Starfrost in the main deck. Playing a Griffin. Sorry about that, guys. Had to cough. I've been getting over a little bit of a sickness recently. So, sorry about that. I don't really know why Griffin's in the main deck, but it's probably something I'm missing. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's something I'm missing, but yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you guys. Anyways, moving on to top 4, we got a Pendulum Magician here. So, they're playing 1 Magician of Souls. I don't really know why. The only targets are... Wait. It's almost 6 or higher? Okay. So their targets are Oath, Astrograph, and then Dissolver. I really don't know which one of those you want to send to the graveyard, but I guess you do. I know this deck a little bit, but I don't know it that well. Some of these ratios just don't really make much sense to me. I don't understand why we're only playing... Well, I don't understand why this card's in the deck in the first place, to be honest with you. I also don't understand why we're only playing 2 of this. I don't understand why there's only 1 Harmonizing. This is like the best card in the deck. There's only 1 Black Fang, only 1 Purple Poison. These are very good. Only 2 Oaths. This card's also very good, but also I don't understand Chicken Game in a 45 card deck. But these are questions that I don't have the answer to. Then the extra deck, it looks pretty standard. I think Avermax is a little weird. I don't know the use of this in this deck. I guess you can go beyond the Pendulum into an Electromite, into an Avermax. I guess that in some situations that is better than Appaloosa. But, yeah, I don't know. This is not great in the current meta. I like it a lot. It's good against a lot of decks except Despia, but Despia is really good. So Avermax is like not nearly as good as it could be. And you're also not playing IP, so you're not going to be making this undestructible by card effects. But anyways, moving on to top 4 Spyrals. I like this list a lot. I like the pure variant a lot. More so than the danger variant, personally, in the current format, but this list I was very confused by. I don't know why you're only playing 2 Magician of Souls. This is literally like the best card in the deck. You want to open this card every single game, because when you do, it's almost a guaranteed win. So I don't know why there's only 2. I think 3 Super Agents, 2 Tough is kind of a lot. I also think 2 Drone is kind of like a lot, but I do understand that. But I do think one of these probably needs to get cut down. You're also on 41 cards. There's no reason to play all this stuff when you're on 41 cards, in my opinion. Double Summon. This looks weird. It's not that weird, but I wouldn't play it, but it's not that crazy. You're playing the Raigeki. I'm assuming this is just because it's like no side deck, but Lightning Storm for the same reason. But no cross out either, which is kind of crazy, but it worked. Oh wait, wow. They're not playing the. They're not playing Assault. Yeah, wow, they're not playing Assault, and they're only playing 2 Rescues. So they're not going for some crazy input. They're going for more of a control strategy, and I do like that. I respect that a lot, but I do think some of the ratios are just a little bit weird. The extra deck doesn't look too crazy. Again, they're going for more of a control strategy. It's still a combo deck, but more of a control variant of the combo. But anyways, moving on. Top 8, we got Burning Abyss Phantom Knights. This deck is really cool. Drolls in the main board. I don't hate that. I don't love it either. I don't think it's that great in the current format, but it's not bad. It's a power hand trap, I'll tell you that. It can single-handedly just win you games. Buster for the Buster Lock. Oh, gosh. Bunch of 1-up BAs. 2 Seers, 2 Graph. Okay. 1 Fiendish Rhino. Phantom Knights package. Dangers. Nothing too crazy here. Rank up Magic. I'm assuming this is for Yugioh. Yeah, it's for Yugioh and Ophion. That's dirty. Excuse me again, guys. Sorry, I had to mute my mic to cough. Sickness has been kicking my butt. But, it's a very cool list. I'm playing a few rank up spells here. This stuff's cool. Going for these like blowout cards. It's really interesting. And of course, the unique carry. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to mute my mic one more time. All right. Hopefully that's the last time. I'm so sorry for that. But this deck's really cool. I like the Burning Abyss synergy with the Phantom Knights. I'm not going to critique the ratios too much because I personally don't know the ratios for a deck like this. I did try this when Orcus stuff came back. I tried it with Orcus Phantom Knight Burning Abyss. I liked it a lot, but I don't know the ratios for like a deck like this specifically. But the Burning Abysses all being 1-ups, I don't hate that. I know that. I think they play off each other so well, and they can recycle so easily that it doesn't really matter. And the ones you really want to resolve consistently are Seer and Graph. Yeah. Grass is probably insane in this deck. I don't love the strategy of the rank ups, but it is really cool. You know, making the Ophion, making the Yugioh, they're almost like just GGs instantly. And then also, the Union Carrier with the Buster Lock is just insane. Anyways. Moving on to top 8. We have an Invoked Despia. This is the guy that beat me to make it to top 16, sadly. Game 1, he went Mechaba, Kaliga, and Dramaturge. Really solid in board with some good follow-up. I wasn't really able to do very much. I had a pretty bad hand, and he had a good board. Game 2, obviously he's playing no hand traps. I opened Talon's Gamma Driver. I was like, okay, well, I lose this game. But it's a cool list. I like it a lot. I don't really understand this guy's logic 100% because he's playing this deck. Sorry about that, guys. He's playing this deck as he would have before the ban list, with like 2 meltdowns. No terraforming, just like the invoke stuff. And like, I don't really understand that. I think if you're gonna play this deck, you should be playing with the new stuff. So you should be playing like the invoke package. I'm fine with that. But like, why are you not playing 3 meltdowns? Right? Why are you not playing terraforming to abuse the meltdown and the theater? Right? So I don't really understand that logic, but it worked for him, and he beat me, so how much can I really say, right? Yeah, anyways, it's a very cool list. I like it a lot. I definitely want to test it out some more, because it's got a lot of potential. Top 8, we got a hero list. This card's insane. Destiny or Dark Angel. This card, when it resolves, it's so good when it resolves. Something I like about this deck is it's got a lot of different win conditions, right? Dark Angel's great, Plasma's great, Dark Law's great, wherever Dark Law is. It can make DPE like crazy, which is really cool. It can abuse DPE. It's really cool, except The biggest problem with this deck is obviously when it ends on a Nibiru token. It's very unfortunate, but it's still a very cool deck, and I like it a lot. Wait, what the heck's going on here? I just realized that you're not playing Maxi. You're playing Ash Blossoms, Droplets, and Imperms, and Cosmics, but no Maxi. What? That's crazy. Whatever. Anyways, moving on. Top 8, we got a Drytron. This is a 40-card Drytron. I like this list a lot. There's only 8 names, plus the 3 Novas, plus the emergencies, so really consistent. I mean, like, 8 names is not that crazy in 40 cards. I do like that ratio a lot. Honestly, you probably don't even need that many. You can probably cut one of the Zetas and be fine, but I do like this list a lot. Very clean. A lot of rituals. You know, you're playing 5 rituals and 2 preps. It is kind of a lot, but I don't hate it. Extra Foolish Burial is really good in this deck. Yeah. Very nice list. All around. Beatrice is like the most insane card. Hold on, I want to go back up here really quickly. I'm not playing Beatrice. That's wild. Beatrice is like the best card in the game. It's not actually, but that card is so freaking good. It was top 16. We got a branded Despia. This got some hand traps in. I like this a lot. I do like the hand traps in this deck. I think that's necessary. Playing 6 hand traps, super polys, 1 imperm. Okay. Personally, I like Valor in this deck over imperm, but because it's a light and you can use it off Chimera, but I don't hate imperm either. Yes, overall, very nice list. Well played. Extra is pretty standard. No Verte. It's kind of important to note, but nothing too crazy. Top 16, we got a Subterror. 1 second, guys. This is a bit more of a standard Subterror list, I think, with all the big guys and less hand traps. So I don't hate this, but I also don't love it either. I don't understand all the one-ups. I know you're playing 1 Regeki, 1 Duster. That makes sense. You can only play 1, right? But then you're playing 1 Evenly, 1 Imperm, 1 Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. This card's really cool, but 1 of why? 1 Gozen, 1 Judgment. I was looking at this list and I was kind of just like, why is this? How did this deck make the cut? Right? Like, how did you sign off on playing all these 1-ups? But anyways, it worked for this guy. And yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I'm glad it worked. I'm glad to see Subterror doing good this week, but I really don't understand the logic with a lot of these 1-ups. Also, Shadowmere is really cool. I don't know how good it is in the current format, but it worked for him. Also, Imperial Iron Ball. I don't know why this is in the deck, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, moving on. Extra deck doesn't matter. It's just all fodder for the pots. Top 16, we got a Spyral. This is a very gimmicky list. You're probably like, what the heck is Sangan doing here? I'll show you. So, it's playing this Disturbance strategy. And this thing down here, the Shimoji Soldier, it's really cool. So what you do is, like, you just use Sangan on your turn. However you get to it, I'm sure there's a way to get to it that I'm just haven't really put together because I wasn't really trying to. But you get Sangan. Sangan resolves. You search out Droll. Cool. Then you send the Disturbance strategy off of Curious, and then you set it back to your field with Griffin. And you also exceed into this thing because you can put level 1s out very easily in this deck. Okay? Then what happens is during the standby phase, each player draws a card. Okay? That resolves, you activate Droll. It means your opponent can't draw or add cards from the deck to the hand anymore. Then you disturb a strategy. They shuffle their entire hand back into the deck, and then they can't draw because of the Droll. So funny. This deck doesn't need to do this. Like, this deck is way too good to need to do this, but it's so funny that it works. Like, that's awesome. And this guy's a very good Spyral player. He just messes around with a lot of really cool variants of it, and I like it. I like to see it. It's very cool. Top 16, we got a branded Despia, 1 Maxi. What am I looking at? Why is there 1 Maxi in this deck? This infuriates me. Guys, This is terrible. Why am I looking at this? 1 Max C, 2 Ash Blossoms. I'm just going to move on. Top 16, we got a Dragunity. This is awesome. I love to see this. This deck is sick. This deck is so cool. From how I understand the deck, it doesn't look too crazy. I think this might be wrong. I don't know why you're not playing 3 of this. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm playing the deck outdatedly, but I like this card a lot. Tempest is obviously insane in this deck. Freemus, Kaos, Phalanx. Do you really play 2 Kaos, 2 Phalanx? Shouldn't it be like 3 and 1? I don't know. 1 Dux. One Dark Ruler, 1 Droplet, 2 Lightning Storms. Okay, it's a weird ratio, but it works. Reborn. I don't know how good Reborn is in this deck. I mean, I don't think I'd play Reborn over 40, personally, but it works. The reason I'm not talking too much is because I don't know this deck well enough to like make actual comments on it, but I like it a lot. Anyways, moving on to top 16 Adventure Phantom Knights with some dangers. 1 Cloak, kind of weird. Nothing too crazy though. This looks like a very standard list. Nothing too wild here. Marincess. Oh, how many hand traps? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 going second cards. Nice. 18 including the Harpies. Nice. We got a top 16 Dragon Link. Nice. All right, dude. What is going on here? 1 Max C? No way. There's no way. There's no way you top with 1 Max C in your deck. How does this happen? 2 Crows, 2 Veilers, 1 Max C, 2 Ghost Ogre. I don't understand that. 2 Ash, 3 Lancias, 2 Nibs, 3 drops, 1 Imperm. I'm at a loss for words. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the ratios. I don't understand why. Everything else looks fine, honestly. You know, everything looks pretty standard. This is becoming more and more standard of the way to play the deck, but I don't understand the hand trap ratios. Playing Boral Sword. Wow, that's kind of crazy. What are they not playing? They're not playing Quad Boral. Wow, you're not playing Quad Boral? That's crazy. Anyways. Yeah, that's kind of wild. I'm surprised you're not playing Quad Boral. You really don't need all 3 of these in my opinion, but and Quad Boral should be in the deck. Quad Boral is mandatory. But anyways, that is going to do it for the meta breakdown for this past week. A really weird week, if I do say so myself. Really quickly, I'm going to go over the breakdown. For first place, we had 1 Adventure Tri-Zoo and 1 Scareclaw Pure. For second place, we had 1 Subterror and 1 Triclaw. Sorry about that, guys. For top 4, we had a Striker, a Branded Shaddoll, a Pendulum Edition, and a Spyral. For top 8, we had a Burning Abyss Phantom Knights, a Branded Invoked, a Hero, and a Drytron. For top 16, we had 2 Despias, 1 Subterror, 1 Spyral, 1 Dragunity, 1 Adventure Phantom Knights, 1 Marincess, and 1 Dragon Link. But anyways, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry for my voice and for the random coughing spells that has made me mute my mic. I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully I'll get better soon and I won't have to do that anymore. But I appreciate you guys sticking through the videos nonetheless. It means the world to me. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel about this week, because I'm at a loss for words with some of these decks. But yeah, anyways, let me know in the comment section below how you feel about these decks. Why do you think the meta is kind of going in such a weird direction? Is it because everyone's bored, or is it because of something else? Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.